Did you know that back during the 1910s, birdcage hats were very briefly considered high fashion? Yeah, people were like rolling up to parties with live birds on their head. Pretty wild, right? Well, guess what? The birdcage hat is just the first of a whole series of weird trends and fads that I want to tell you about in this video. You know, absolutely insane stuff that people actually thought was cool once upon a time. So, without further ado, let's keep the train moving with a little fad that was briefly popular in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania back in 1899. I'm going to call this one the hairbag fad. See, if you were a fashionable young lady back near the end of the 19th century, then the cool thing to do was to go around to all your male classmates or friends and ask for a bag of their hair. Yeah, like head hair. They're just supposed to like cut off a clump for you and then hand it over in a little plastic baggie. So after a while, eventually, if you know enough boys, you're just gonna have like 20 or 30 little sacks of human head hair lying around your house, right? But that's not even the weird part. Because once you have enough hair, what you're supposed to do is pour all that hair out together into a pillowcase and then tie it up so you got yourself a big old fluffy pillow full of all your friends' hair. Gonna sleep like a log on that bad boy, right? And the best part of this particular fad too is that I even found like a newspaper article where some of the local Pittsburgh boys were complaining that too many girls were asking for their hair. So this fad was like popular enough that all these boys are talking about going bald from having to fork over so many of their clumps of hair for these weird little hair pillows. But hey, you want to know what's super crazy? Is that the hair bag isn't even the weirdest trend I found that involves taking physical souvenirs from people. No, that honor belongs to a little fad that popped up in the summer of 1902. So, you know how like some people's skin kind of starts to peel after they spend a few days in the sun? Like they get all like sunburned and then that first layer of skin starts to just like come off. Well, apparently at one point in history, it was considered ultra trendy for young women to go around on the beach and ask all the men if they can peel off a piece of their sunburned skin to keep as a souvenir. I swear to God this is real. And it goes even further than that too, because you're also supposed to ask the guy for like a card with his name on it so you can stick your piece of human skin to the card and then always remember who you got it from. I also love how this newspaper article about the fad, it includes a sentence that says, "There is not a single set of young ladies on this earth so original and so captivating as the American summer girl," you know? Oh, those sweet summer girls, so innocent, so pure, with their rooms full of 56 pieces of human flesh stuck to the wall. Here's a good one from the 1910s in Los Angeles. Luncheon in the surf. In this one, you just set up a lunch table in the ocean, and that's it. You just try to have lunch in the ocean. Don't spill everything and try to enjoy the water, I guess. But I mean, that girl sure looks like she's having a good time, so who can argue? Boston fad. Eating sand. You can thank that dude for this one. You see, back in the early 1900s, Professor William Windsor here had a whole bunch of people convinced that eating sand was the key to a healthy life. So him and his wife, they used to like ship sand up from the Mississippi River and then sell it all around the Boston area, claiming to have cured like 70,000 people with their amazing magic sand. And their argument for why you should eat sand is that if you put a baby on the beach and just leave it alone and don't like interfere with what it's doing, it will try to eat the sand on the beach. So therefore, the babies obviously know something that we don't, and we should all get to chowing down. Water golf. It's like normal golf, except you gotta stand in a boat and hit a ball that's floating on a tiny platform. Not surprising that this one didn't have much staying power. Here's one of my very favorites, the skeleton photo fad. So nowadays, you might like text a little picture of yourself to like your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever, right? Well, back in London in the 1920s, instead of doing that, you might go down to the doctor's office, get a full body skeleton X-ray photo taken, and then hand that over to whoever strikes your fancy. I just love the visual of someone like asking you out on a date and giving you like a little box of candy or maybe some flowers. And then you just whip out your full body skull pick and fork that over. All right, here's one I love, like just for the picture. So in the 1920s, it became super popular for little boys, like 6-year-olds, to wear long pants, right? Like dress slacks, kind of as if they were like gonna go work in an office or something, right? Which led to some pretty amazing newspaper articles. Like this one here, where a guy says that his 5-year-old nephew named Bobby Rudin went up to his parents himself and demanded that they buy him a pair of brand new long pants. Like this 5-year-old knows the trends and he is not gonna miss out on being fashionable. And dang, if that kid doesn't know how to rock a pair of slacks, Bobby Rudin. All right, how about a few fads related to eyeballs? Because apparently there was a lot of them back in the day. Like here's one from 1915. I guess it was briefly popular to paste a little picture of your boyfriend on your face, like right underneath your eyeball. Do you know in the 19th century, some people thought that rubbing your eye from outside to inside would improve your vision somehow? All right, this next one is pretty crazy. It's called the odd eye fad, another European trend, this time London in the 1910s. And the crux of this one was that it was supposed to be cool to have one eye that was a different color from the other eye, right? And the way people would achieve this was to literally drip colored dye into their eyeball. So unsurprisingly, doctors at the time were trying their hardest to tell people not to drip poison into their eyes. But as one newspaper puts it, fashion cannot be foregone for mere hygienic reasons. By the way, did you know that wearing fake eyeglasses to try and look smart is as old as the 1890s? Pretty crazy. All right, let me wrap up this eyeball section with my favorite ocular trend, the beloved eye. See, if you were a young man in a committed relationship back in the 1890s, then you just might commission a local artist to create an exact replica of your eyeball out of paint and jewels. And then you hang that eyeball painting on some kind of like chain or a string of pearls and you gift it to your partner to wear around their neck whenever they go out and about. So basically your girlfriend is now just like walking around town with a hyper realistic eyeball hanging off their neck. And the whole point of this too was apparently to like signal to other men that this girl is taken. Like it's supposed to be like, my eyeball is on this girl. I'm watching you. Don't you dare try to take her away from me. Competitive rolling, briefly popular in the 1910s. You just see who can roll the farthest in 3 miles. Starting to get a little chilly. Here's another one of my favorites. This one is just so bizarre. It's called the seeing friends off to Europe craze. So if you want to follow this trend, what you do is you hire a taxi to drive you down to the nearest shipyard. Then you jump out of the taxi like you're in a huge panic and you sprint down to the docks and you start tearfully waving at your friend who is just now leaving for Europe on a boat. And you call out their name as the sound of the boat gets more and more distant. Goodbye, goodbye. You wave as they disappear into the horizon. You think of your friend's memory as they embark on what is sure to be an incredible journey. Except there is no friend. You actually don't know a single person on that ship. You're just acting like you do. Yeah, like pretending to see people off to Europe was super in back during the 1890s. And the best part is that some people literally did this like multiple times in one day too. So you're just constantly getting back in the taxi, having it circle the block, and then jumping out again. Like this is your last chance ever to go see your totally imaginary friend. All right, here's a couple where I just like the headline. New fad, women learning the jujitsu. New fad, not eating dog meat. New dangerous fad, teddy bears. This one's pretty crazy beyond just the headline too, because apparently this one journalist actually thinks that teddy bears are a dangerous fad because they're going to rob little girls of their motherly instincts. I don't know. Oh, and by the way, did you know that a few companies actually tried to like capitalize on the success of the teddy bear by releasing another stuffed animal line with a similar name and a supposed similar appeal? It was called Billy Possum. All right, here's a kind of grim one. Morphine tea parties. Big in London during the turn of the century. And I know, right off the bat, you're probably thinking like, oh, so they figured out a way to put like a small amount of morphine in tea, right? But no, literally all this is that you drink tea and then the hostess of the party walks around and injects everybody with morphine. That's it. So it feels a little weird to call that a fad. I mean, I would just call that doing drugs. And the strange part about that one too is that's not even the only trend I found that involves like injecting yourself with something. Because apparently in Paris in the 1890s, people actually injected perfume straight into their veins, like with a syringe and everything. They even sold like perfume injecting kits, complete with like all the equipment you would need to do this, which is pretty insane, right? I mean, the thought was that like getting perfume into your bloodstream would somehow like scent your entire body permanently, but unsurprisingly, the doctors did not agree. But hey, let's take a break from all the gross blood poisoning stuff with some fashion fads. How about this? Back in the 1920s, you might spot somebody walking around with their initials embroidered onto their stockings. I kind of like that one. Or even better, you might see a lady headed to a fancy ball with a full-blown detailed painting of a ship across her back. Yeah, this was supposed to be like a little addition to the open-backed ball gowns that were big at the time, and I really like this one actually. Like, somebody's got to bring this back. All right, here's a super crazy one. Look at this picture. You see that black thing like hanging on the lady's chest there? That is a live turtle attached to her clothes. Yeah, from about like 1890 to 1910-ish, it was considered super fashionable to attach live animals to your clothes with like little leash things. And not just turtles either, like beetles and lizards, and this one is just like so out there, right? I mean, I literally found a bunch of articles talking about how your little like beetle accessory is literally just crawling around all over your neck as you're just walking around a party like it's not even there. Oh, and I actually even found a report saying that a lady in Arkansas actually died in 1906 because she accidentally attached a poisonous lizard to her dress that then bit and killed her. Like, apparently she just like heard about this trend and then walked out into her garden and grabbed a random lizard and attached that to her clothes, and it killed her. All right, here's another one that just like conjures up a real funny mental picture. The raw egg fad. This one was big with women in Philadelphia back in the 1890s. And literally all it is that when you go to the bar, instead of ordering a drink, you order a raw egg. Yeah, seriously. It was not uncommon to see like 6 women at once push up to the front of the bar, smack down a wine glass each on the counter, and then watch as the bartender just goes down the line like crack, crack, crack. And then everybody's got their raw egg and their wine glass, and you just knock it back. So ladies, next time you're having a girls' night, I think you know what to do. All right, we're in the home stretch now. Just got a couple more for you here, like the new fad that jars nerves. That was the headline for a trend popular with young ladies in Milwaukee, Wisconsin back in 1904. And this one is pretty simple. So let's say you want to like get a nice photograph of yourself, right? Well, clearly, the cool thing to do would be to head down to the undertakers, have them put you in a coffin lined with velvet, and then fold your hands across your chest like you're dead, and then lay some flowers down on top of your body, and then click, there you go. You got a beautiful photo of yourself as a corpse. But all right, I think it's just about time we wrap up this video. I want to show you my very favorite old fad. Or I guess more specifically, I want to tell you about my favorite death of an old fad. You see, one summer out on Martha's Vineyard, it became very popular for women to wear little bells on their garters, you know, just so there's like a nice soft little ring and a glint of light when they run along the beach or stroll through a ballroom, and that's not that weird, right? I mean, it seems like something that could actually have some legs even today, right? It's pretty simple. But Didn't last that long. It fell out of favor pretty quick when a man one day proudly walked into a hotel dining room with 2 giant cowbells attached to both of his legs. And I guess that ended the trend right then and there. But come on, that's a little rude, right? I mean, let the poor guy rock the cowbell. He's just trying to get it on the fashion. Don't act like you've never chased a trend.